CSGO returns to the West Coast and the San Francisco Bay Area, renowned worldwide for the Golden Gate Bridge, its stunning views, and innovation. The Grand Finals will be played in the Oracle Arena, home of the Golden State Warriors, and now host to the highest level of competitive Counter-Strike. Teams from around the world will compete for the prestige of winning an IEM championship. They will also battle forward on their way to claim the first Intel Grand Slam title. Oakland is the second major CSGO tournament in this 12th series of the Intel Extreme Masters, hosting the champions of IEM Sydney, SK Gaming, and American powerhouses Team Liquid and Cloud9. This tournament is the final stop before the IEM World Championship in Katowice, Poland. This is a tournament to be remembered. This is IEM Oakland.
All right, Oaktown, put your hands in the air, put your cans in the air. We are here in the Oracle Arena for this IEM on the West Coast, IEM Oaktown. It is great to be here. Are you ready for some Counter-Strike? And that is why I love you. For me, this is the 4th time I've been back to an IEM on the West Coast, and it gets better every year. Look at this place, the Oracle Arena, the home of the Golden State Warriors, NBA champions. And we have 4 teams across semifinals today. It's the dream lineup, the dream lineup. They're playing off for this trophy. They want their names around here. 11 years IEM has gone around the world. There is a history, there is a prestige, there is a desire for our teams to win it. So let's just check the fans we've got. Any FaZe fans? Okay. Have we got any Ninjas in Pyjamas fans? Okay. Any SK fans? What about Cloud9? Well, that is our second semi-final. First off, it is a rerun of last year. 2 teams were batted out on this stage. NIP, it looked like they were starting again. They were going to be great. It's not really happened. Will it this time? We're about to find out. Oakland, are you ready for your first semi-final? You're not ready enough. Oakland, are you ready? Please welcome your first team. That is the Ninjas in Pyjamas. So they are a team hungry to take that trophy back with them, but it takes 2 to tango. Their opponents, defeated last year's, they will want that sweet, sweet revenge. Please welcome to the stage, SEA Gaming! It is another beautiful day in the core. Man, I love the core. Who's winning this? NIP? SK? The crowd has spoken. Let's get it on with our first semi-final. I want to hear it one more time, Oakland. I want to hear it one more time. Are you ready?
Well, OJ, I think we certainly are ready. IEM Oakland 2017, we do it all again, and this time we get our last year's final early. SK, NIP, who topped the group.
It's interesting, isn't it? The fact they seem to perform so well at this event. The defending champions certainly dropped off since winning this tournament, but they're back and they're looking pretty much as strong as they did last time. The fact that we've got Rez in there now with Draken, the young firepower coming through, with the old veterans as well. Considering the map vetoes, I feel like they've got a chance here. The fact that Cash has made it into the second map, we could well see a third.
It's entirely possible. In fact, there's a few people that have speculated both series could go toward 3 maps based on difference in the map pool or the depth of either team. FaZe obviously going off against Cloud9 a little bit later on. Cloud9's been another team that's impressed, I think,
yes,
in this event. But yeah, SK on a stage at any point in time, anywhere in the world is a scary thought. And they seem, I think, very motivated with Bolts back on board to take down everyone and everything.
Yeah, that's the main thing. The big stage now. As we mentioned, NIP got above into the semi-final after winning the group stages here. They've got young players, Draken and Rez, who are on the big stage now, played very well so far. Can they continue that form up against the absolute veterans, the #1 team in the world, SK Gaming? Rez has looked like one of the best players in the tournament so far, and I want to see if he can perform today.
Certainly is no stranger to performance, but a stage in this environment, a little bit new, a little bit different for him. He's entirely familiar or alien, but it's been interesting to watch this roster finally revitalize themselves. And interestingly, we often talked about how NIP was hesitant to make roster changes.
Missing out on that.
Yeah, exactly where I was going with that. Missing out on some of the changes that other teams were taking advantage of. The LGB core eventually leading to a Fnatic dynasty, if you will, for a period of time, an era that was certainly the most dominant, I think, in CSGO when you consider the level of competition at the time and the amount of, I think, 7 in a row, the amount of events that they won. And then obviously the swap with Godsent, that was rather large and everyone was talking about it. It was a blockbuster deal. NIP was always on the sidelines of that and always seeming to struggle as well. Now it's almost like, as the other two have done their swaps early, they've taken advantage of the next group of players coming in, and they're the ones leading the way.
They've got themselves a couple of rookies, and it's looking very impressive, I have to say. And the form Get Right showing right now, it seemed to have revitalized him. He certainly had a slump the last year, but the last couple of months or so have looked much more promising for him. He's back on his lurking role. He seems like he's found his confidence, and I'm hoping he steps up today. They're going to need players like him to perform. Obviously, Forrest as well, one of the big names of the team, going up against the absolute world's best here. coldzera and Fur looking deadly this tournament. I have to say as well, the all potential of SK Gaming, that's where I'm a little bit worried. The fact that coldzera is looking amazing with the secondary AWP right now, that's going to be a massive problem for NIP, who don't really have the secondary orb to work with. They have Forrest to bring out occasionally, but it feels like it's down to Draken to go toe-to-toe with Fallen and coldzera here.
Draken, I think, has been improving. The talk about him missing the 30 sort of degree window, I think he's getting better at it, but there's still a few times this weekend he's looked, I think, a little bit, he almost looks nervous or tense in those situations when they put a lot of pressure on him. He hits crazy shots that he's not expected to, but when it really comes down to him, I compare him to World Edit in that regard.
Well, he's one of the players that I've always criticized. He's very good at getting the opening pick. He's got a lot of confidence. It's his decision-making once he finds the opening pick. That's when things seem to fall apart a little bit there, especially on the big stage. Nerves riding high, and we'll see whether he can actually step toe-to-toe with Fallen. The thing with Fallen is he's so experienced here. If he comes out, wins the first orbital against him, he's going to rattle the confidence of Draken and try and shut him down, especially on a map like Overpass as well. It's very orb-centric. He'll be able to be very dynamic here. And it's going to be NIP starting on the T side, so that's where Fallen on the CD side will do his best work. He'll be going in a different position every single round and challenging for those duels.
And it's interesting because, obviously we know Fallen, Parkside, Long, he dominates all of that territory. But as you say, coldzera on the secondary op has been solid. And interestingly, at the B side as well, they've even run the double up setup in B specifically, covering both sandbags from sort of back toward the ramp, if you will, and the second op down toward Monster. So they are being very dynamic, and he has been very impressive, coldzera, in that site. Now, keep in mind, if we want to talk maps and the depth in this series, like you say, it has the potential to go 3 because Cash is sort of NIP home turf. It's had some heartbreak for them, 2 games in specific. Flip side, Vega, I know those are wounds they don't like to be pulled open again on stream, but it's a fact, and obviously that they play it so often, it has to be the map they look to in this series, especially with Draken, who's been very, I think, good on that map. I think that's been his best map, not just NIP's.
One player I want to talk about especially is going to be Taco, a player that looked very poor in the first opening few days, but then yesterday he actually looked fantastic, right? He actually showed us what he's made of. Fallen even called it out at the start, saying, well, he's going to play well today, watch out for him, and he certainly delivered. The support player technically, but he was second on the scoreboard, looking like he was opening up bomb sites and managing to keep up with his teammates, which was great to see him have that kind of play. And they're going to need him today, and this is where it all matters in the stadium. And we'll be Overpass to keep things off. Like we said, NIP sitting on the T side here. SK Gaming very, very strong on the pistols. That's the thing about SK. That's why you shut them down. If you can get the pistol lead, you get the 3-0 there, win the first gun round, try and shut down their economy. That's where things really get rocking and rolling.
Rock and roll About to be loud and proud in the Oracle Arena, because we're about to get underway. The pistol round SK, they will start out on the CT side. NIP on the attack first.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. IEM Oakland, SK Gaming versus NIP, the defending champions up against the challengers, the world's #1 team, SK Gaming. Let's make some noise!
The buy, pretty straightforward. Exist goes to a smoke, 4 armor for everybody else. On the CT side, a bit more utility, and Fallen has a kit as well as the smoke. Decoys, call them what you will. Forest already peeking out toward long as well by getting toward the corner. They have the bomb toward the fountain. They'll clear systematically some map control toward the bathrooms, which give them the approach toward the A site, but it's early in the round, 1:22. And Fur, the only one directly inside of the A site, has to make contact. If they find him in the open as he is, they'll take the site for a plant, and it will come to a retake. Again, 1 kit, but a good find from Fur, getting forward, unfortunately immediately traded. That gives NIP the approach, and the smoke is perfectly timed toward the stairwell for rotations.
Well, the bomb will go down into CT's boosting up here, trying to deny everything they can. coldzera strikes, can't find the headshot straight away. Have to fall back at this point, or maybe not. What was that? As he takes down Forest, it's Get Right to defend from the bathroom, and the bomb has been planted.
Good find from Get Right to hold in the bathroom. So as you say, Taco, you talked about his performance not yesterday, but on Thursday. It was certainly impressive. Rez gets pulled down. That's going to take back part of the approach on the rotation, but Fallen still stands. No armor, so the Glock is a factor for body shots, but he's got the kit. He stays alive, Taco. Rez, he's got to pick up a gun. He's dropped his away. He's got to get to one that's got ammo left over. He's got the Glock 9 bullet, 6 HP. And Fallen's done it on the retake. Lots of time for the defuse.
SK Gaming coming on top there. Bit of a brawl to kick things off. Sets the tone very nicely indeed. The boost from coldzera, I didn't think he would yield any sort of result, but he nails the headshot and causes pandemonium on the A bomb side there. The retake was successful, and here you can see that headshot coming through. That was absolutely lovely. The flick as he managed to open things up. Goodbye, Forest. Well, NIP do get the bomb down there, so they will be able to force buy in the 3rd round. PD50s, maybe a couple of smokes and flashbangs to kick us off from round #2 here, but they'll be waiting for round #3. We do know SK Gaming focus on the SMGs in these second rounds, but they know with the bomb going down, they may have to bring some firepower out and prepare for round #3 here. Looks like we have a little pause here, Matt, so this will be technical, I would assume.
We got the unpause called almost right away, so we should be fine. Like there was technical. You're right, though. They do know exactly that the AKs will be brought out early on the NIP side, more so if they can strengthen that early buy with another bomb plant in this particular round. But interestingly, it's only 2 rifles. They still go to 2 MP9s as well. I would have thought UMP at the very least would have been considered due to the armor penetration.
I completely agree. It's interesting. NIP will have an opening for the next round to get the first point on the board for themselves. As Fur, of course, pushing towards top of middle. He wants to get those frags in his favor, and for now he'll be challenging towards top of middle. Does a little bit of damage and he'll fall back towards the connector.
Shot from Fur. MP9 certainly works fine in this round. Back and tagged as well, down to 23. Fur was clipped by a deagle. And with 3 players toward A this time for SK, less likely they'll be able to walk directly into the site and get that secondary bomb plant we talked about. Even if they sell a fake, it's not like they're going to over-rotate with weapons in their hands. No sense to panic. Bolt's funds exist, he'll spray down, same position, Get Right. Gets 1 in return, so at least some reinvestment brought out, but again, it's one of the SMGs, and that's fine. Actually, in fact, Fur getting 1 kill in the SMG, the MP9, and going down is fine. He gets the $600 back, he'll be able to buy into a rifle or at least a UMP in the next round as Bolts rotates around, and Cold's able to find the kill immediately.
2-0 for SK Gaming. That was quite the clean sweep. They gave 1 kill away, but like we said, this is the round that really counts. NIP with the AK-47s out. They've got the smokes, the flashbangs. They've got a Molotov to work with here as well. We'll have a look at the final purchase from SK. They bring out 2 M4s. They lost 1 of the previous MP9, so coldzera will hold on to that weapon. Fur brings out the M4A4, and we'll see if NIP can get anything done here. They head towards middle, looking to challenge the aggression that SK been presenting so far. Of course, it's Fur. This is his stomping ground towards the top of middle, trying to find these opening kills. Has the smoke to work with there, and they're hunting him down. They're saying a little pack of 3 here to try and trade, even when required. It's fall of the UMP. Quite some range there along A.
Fur can time this so well. He hears Forest. Oh, what a shot, though, from Forest. Because if he hadn't found Forest, he would have swung out to long. We've been talking about it all tournament long.
Yeah.
Fur has been so good at getting behind teams.
He absolutely is. No one seems to be able to shut him down, but that will do for us. If the swift AK headshot opens things up, 5 on 4, they make their way towards long. They will be committing to this bomb site. Exists leading the charge. Bomb on his back. They've still got smokes to deploy at this point, but it looks like a contact play. They just want to have the surprise factor, potentially backstab players like Bolter waiting by the bathrooms.
Get right. Completely gray screen as he wants to walk in. Fallen therefore finds the shot on Rez. As they stay toward the door, Bolt will step up as well, and realizing they've lost long, he'll turn around. His contribution is felt, but it's on to Forrest, who started this off with an excellent kill on Fur. He's now found his second, but he's down to 12 HP. And from range on an MP9, make me eat my words, he'll get the bonus Cold Zero because they've broken down an IP early.
Well, they got the opening pick, but they couldn't convert it to a victory there. Wait for this simple approach, this what we call a contact play. You're not deploying all the utility, you get as close to the bomb site as you physically can, and when the CT detect you, that's when you unload absolutely everything. They managed to get trades there, but the retake successful, and that doesn't bode well for an IP whatsoever. That was a round of UMP, an MP9, a couple of M4s, and a FAMAS as well. And it looks like SK Gaming are very comfortable at this point. NIP with no bomb plant means a full eco coming in here. I'd assume they'll get P250s, maybe a couple of Deagles, but so far so good. And we'll take another quick pause here. Looks like we have a tactical pause coming through for the NIP side.
I guess, again, for timeouts, we talk about this all the time in the theory behind it, but I guess having lost the early buy, you have to think the long-term economic standpoint, and bombs are going to be very important in building that back up so early in the game. They know as well, overpass SK's map choice, yet definitely they are playing on the back foot just by virtue of who SK is on this map.
Oh, absolutely. Well, 3-0 comes through. It is a bit of a partial buy here. We get the CZs out, a Deagle, but no armor, no nades, so we'll see whether they can get anything done here. We'll get into the next round as we'll head in towards the connector area. It's going to be a little trade there as well. Fallen opens things up. Fur, once again, aggressive, of course, towards middle. He'll get the second and third frag. He's looking strong today. Middle seems to be the area he has complete control of, and he'll be closing the round out presumably any second. Now, Draken will take him down eventually. 3 versus 1 now. He's not going to win the round, but any damage he can cause the financial situation of SK is going to be beneficial to NIP.
Gets the kill. So Draken with just the one. So they want to try and obviously build his bank up in specific. T-sided op is still extremely viable on overpass.
Absolutely, he'll be coming out this round. I would assume. Fall on the AWP as well, of course, and his Fur. This is where he normally gets most of his frags, at that fountain position, pushing through smokes, and these shots towards connector, that was quite nice. It definitely is a bit of a sign of things to come, perhaps, as we get into round number 5 here. The AWP is out for Draken. We do have AKs around him as well, and Fallen will be boosted towards the B side, looking at the short pipe, waiting for that flashbang. That's why he's looking at the floor right now with Fur. How does he do this every single round? He's hungry for blood here.
And this is the thing, with Fur playing so well on the A site this far forward, Fallen can't afford to be dynamic. He doesn't have to babysit the inside of the A site. Again, sort of where we see him is staple on this map. He's able to rotate off. The boost dynamic. His Fur, he's going to get aggressive as well. Oh, Rez, good read, good find. AK gets the kill immediately with the headshot. That'll certainly force off a rotation from B. And it is, I believe it is Fallen heading back.
They've shut him down for the second time now. They've had this advantage before in the first gun round. Couldn't convert it. Fallen is short.
Yeah. Fallen's on short with the op, so he's actually done the opposite. They're going to rotate all the rifles back over to A rather than the op to play the long angles in the site. That puts Cold, Taco, and Bolts very far forward, and all Fallen has to consider is Monster. He's re-smoked that. He can watch the inside of construction while they search for information and a refrag on the SK side.
50 seconds remaining. It's Fallen to get one back. Taco chiming in as well. Advantage goes towards SK. They'll fall back. You can see them retreating towards the bomb site. Comes down to Draken now. Long A with the AWP. We need him to step up today. Looking for the opening pick, but time is ticking away. They don't really have much utility. 2 smokes remaining as they make their final approach towards the A bomb site.
Rez. The dumpster can't find Taco, goes down immediately. Get Right knows the situation. He needs to get at least 1 kill to allow the entry to long. Taco's on the other side of the wall, but they can't find it, and unfortunately it's just Get Right remaining. What a great example of a team knowing, good shot from Bolts, the exact situation. They lose the early pick and they rotate everyone back rather than cowering away. And I thought they would take Fallen back to the site. They send all 3 out, they play for the trades, they get aggressive, and they take assertion and end the round essentially.
It's great work by Fallen. The fact he dropped the smoke and Monster is focused primarily towards short. Instead of playing back in the site and allowing them to execute there, he's finding the shots, he's funneling them towards A, and that's where the rifles are waiting for them. And it's 5-0 SK Gaming. They're not missing a beat right now. We are technically have a force by FMNIP. Sure, we have the rifles and the armor. We have 1 smoke. Make it 2 with 1 flashbang to work with here. Fur, top of middle once again. How many times will he try and get away with this one? He's been shut down twice now, and we'll see whether he can cause any damage here. As NIP make their way towards the connector. We have got Draken in the playground, and he could find Fur any second now. This is very touch and go for both players. Draken knows the potential of Fur pushing towards middle.
Good shot again from Fallen to start it off. Lost round bonus certainly at its maximum.
Fur's and T-steps just a no.
Yeah, that's I don't know how he does it. This whole event. Like, I used to think Snacks was the master of getting... Oh, easy kill. By again, right? I have no idea. Fur. Like, someone needs to look at his demos. If there's a heat map for Fur, I bet all of his CT kills are on the T side of the map.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely
ridiculous.
Behind enemy lines as ever. Get right with the knife out. Draken was actually watching it. He was in playground. He let them go past. And now Fur, the connector, still being a nuisance. He'll do damage. Exist finally takes him down, but it might be too late. It's now a 4-on-2. It's up to Exist and Draken now to make their way back towards the A side, it seems. Draken, no orb. It'll be a long A. And Fallen in the bathrooms. Exist got his work cut out for him here.
Angle held. Exist hesitant. Checking all of the angles. Early shot from Fallen. In fact, it wasn't even going to be a shoulder peek. Draken's added to that with the AK kill on a bolts at long. That allows the entrance and the bomb plant at the very least. The rotation in a 2 versus 2 favors SK on HP, but not in positioning because they're split up entirely, and Draken's going to get aggressive to try and catch Cold off. Good position. The AK can't find the shot. 15 for Cold. He can now afford to look for information, as Exist will not burrow into the typical post-plant position. He'll wait to see where Taco presents himself.
The in-game leader of NIP, the lowest performer for them in this tournament so far, and a 2 versus 1 up against Cold Zero and Taco. The bomb is down, he's towards long, he has no utility to work with it. He has to fight and see if he can make it a 1 versus 1 before anything begins here. He'll successfully do that, and he gets both kills! The spray control comes through, and Exist has done it! He pulls it off against all the odds. Nothing to work with there. And how does he pull that one out the bag?
Wow. With 46 HP, the problem exists, no pun intended, that they only keep 1 player alive on the reset, but what a round to win. This isn't even close to a lineup, my goodness.
That's beautiful. That's what they needed, a clutch going in favor of the Ninjas. And we'll have round number 7. It was a 4-on-2 situation, and one that could bring NIP to life now. 5-1. Money's still going to be difficult, but they'll take a pause just to calm down, it seems. As we get into this, we still have money, of course, for the SK side. The orb's still out. Fallen missing that key shot in the bathrooms. As the opening Exist required. 2 versus 1. Shouldn't have won that. The first kill that came in towards the bomb, you would assume the refrag comes in straight away. That spray control, that was ungodly.
It was incredible because I think he just had faith on the first player. He was already transferring to the second player as the last bullet was still flying toward his target. So the response is going to have to be desperate, aggressive, and convincing from NIP, and the fact that they are down to the 2 AK-47s, a CZ-75 Khalil and UMP, Exist being the only one to survive. Attempt toward B. Again, SK wants to step forward. Fallen with the op is getting so aggressive. We don't typically see him on this portion of the map with the AWP in hand, but this event, again, with Fur being so good on A, he can't afford to do so. He finds Forrest already. They have the smoke so he can fall back. Even though Squeaky Door isn't covered, no one will be able to get the shot.
These are the kind of players we're talking about in the pre-game. Fallen, getting aggressive, changing his position every single round, and being a nuisance. You can see how difficult this buy was for NIP, even though they won the previous round. Draken's down to a CZ, which is now a Khalil. Get right on the UMP, and it's the man advantage given towards SK Gaming. Fallen pushing offshore, takes down Forrest, and he'll manage to retreat safely back to the B site here. NIP don't really have much to work with at all. 3 players in T-spawn. We have got Exist making his way up long A. The hero of the previous round might have to step up here again. He's one of the few players with the AK-47. They have got utility. They opted for strategy over firepower going into this round. And so far, they are at the disadvantage. It's Fur once again. This time, a little bit more caged. He's not at the top of middle.
Yeah, but you say caged. Formerly the position that he used to get all of his flanks, as far back as Cluj, as far back as the early days of the Brazilian roster, was inside of bathrooms. He's very good at just staying put and not panicking, staying silent. As you can see it, Draken almost runs over and walks directly into him. Rez has gone behind him, but this is it. This is it. This is what Fur does every time. It's like he is literally controlling the simulation Anders talks about. Every time in bathrooms, he gets a kill from behind. It's going to be immediately inside of the site that they'll have to push in from long. Bolts is ready for get right. Bomb drop. Draken only with the 1 response. And the round is gone. The reset is going to hit 9 seconds. Draken has no chance to find 4. Needs to die early, in fact, given the money situation.
It took the heroics Exist to get the first round on the board, but that will be forgotten as we go into the next round. 6-1, full reset coming through with no bomb planted. It's looking too easy for that man in the screen right now. Fur completely lighting them up every single round. Behind enemy lines, He seems to find kills with players that are knifes out, and yet they have no idea where he is. It's so difficult to play against him. With the round like that, when he goes passive, you just assume, okay, he must be playing back on the bomb site now, but no, he's there, still in an aggressive position, and he'll be looking for some anti-eco frags here. The nade's successful, they'll be rushing towards his position, looking for the spray down. He'll take one and fall back.
All back, 9 kills to first name, Bolts and Cold each on 8, everyone chiming in. Get right, gets a kill on Fur at the very least, but unfortunately without the weapons they can't do much more. Forrest and Get Right, both left alive, at least with an M4 picked up, but not much to work with. Cold's already spotted them. Sure, they're some more bathrooms, Bolts responds accordingly, 7-1. We all love that scoreline when Brazil's involved.
Oh yeah, you have to, don't you?
I am a slave to the meme.
You are, but I still enjoy it every time it comes through. It will be round number 9, money available for NIP once again. Not amazing, they don't have the potential for the AWP from what I can see. They've got 4 AKs so far. Forrest yet to buy, he goes with the Galil, still struggling into this round. We'll keep following forward as he seems to be the protagonist, and most of the start of the rounds he manages to get the opening pick. This time not pushing, but he will be boosted up from the B side once again. They dropped the incendiary at the very start. Fur is looking for more kills at the very start of the round. Can hear them going towards long.
Incredible, this game. This is textbook from Fur. So much information again. They've got to start to check these angles. They consider a good find from Get Right, but he's confirmed that all 5 were there. He heard enough footsteps to say, yep, absolutely, start the rotations and be ready for the A approach. Now that said, they are getting aggressive toward T-spawn. Taco responding to what Fur called, but there is a gap toward the lower stairwell and a connection back towards Squeaky. NIP need to be ready for Taco's presence. It seems Forrest is both sneaking in, both quietly, and Forrest finally figures out that SK wants to play that game style.
Waking up to the plays of the aggressive tactics of SK Gaming. It's Taco with a reactive play all the way through T-spawn. You can see NIP biding their time, not giving anything away at that point. They've got the 5-on-3. Surely this is their round. They head towards the B side, but wait. There's a monster on the other side in more ways than one. It's coldzera waiting behind the pillar. Can he get anything done here? Misses the opening spray, will get the frag, and a double! Is it enough as we go to a 3-on-2?
Considering how wide he was of the pillar with 3 players essentially walking in, that was pretty good from Cold. It still gives the advantage to NIP with the bomb go down, Fallen the first to arrive on the AWP, and he'll wait for Bolts to take over from Water. Exist already had the spot at Short Pipe to spot his entrance, and for the first time, SK is going to back off and have to save. In fact, despite that it's 7-1, despite that there was a reset for NIP, they've kept the economy fairly modest on the SK side.
Yeah, they have been finding picks and making sure at least take a few players down with them every single time. This time it's Fur taken down once again. I think he has to maybe change his approach, maybe focus on connector, or even just falling back. The bathrooms could be a viable option as well, because he is finding success, sure, but now it seems that they're focusing and taking him down first and then capitalizing when the reactions come through. Taco tried it towards T-spawn. Forrest waiting for him, and that's exactly how NIP are going to win these rounds. Let SK play themselves by keep going aggressive. Is hold up and make sure you trade them out. So we'll have a look. So Fallen does save the AWP. They will be able to buy into round number 10 here. NIP need to start finding multiple rounds in a row, break them fully, get them onto an eco. The only way they're going to have a chance of building up some momentum here. coldzera with the AWP. Have they got double up set up? They have. This is where things become very problematic indeed. coldzera has been playing absolutely lights out Counter-Strike with this secondary AWP, very aggressive as well. Fantastic in the clutches. We'll see if Fallen goes towards long at the very start. Will be challenged as we have got 3 NIP players heading towards that area.
On the flower pot just barely misses the headshot toward long as Rez, Exist, and Draken all try and take position. And they're going to act a little bit quicker at least being, or at least taking the long control. The problem is Fur again's inside of a smoke. Fallen swinging over after being out toward long finds Get Right.